No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You've got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym.
My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Tuesday to you here at BroncoNationNews.com, all the social media channels of Bronco Nation News. This is a Taco Bell Tuesday edition here, so make sure you're checking out Taco Bell, the various locations around the Treasure Valley for your next meal. And if you are looking for a job, Taco Bell is hiring, so make sure you check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. You can get more information. They got some great deals there. And again, we appreciate our Tuesday sponsor, Taco Bell. Riding solo today, we got No Jay Tuss. He is with the family at Disneyland. Is it Disneyland? Disney World. It's the one in California. So Jay and his family, some well-deserved time off. So Jay will join us Thursday and Friday this week instead. So need your questions, need your comments, and you can help us and we can have some fun on the show here today. I still wanted to make sure we got a show out. We got plenty to talk about on the transfer market, transfer portal market, Boise State football, losing a couple of guys, Chibuzo Abo has a new home, so plenty to get to here on a Tuesday edition of Bronco Nation News Live. And again, I am riding solo, so let's have some fun together and talk some Boise State sports for however long you guys want to. So Robbie says, good morning to you, Robbie. Vlad, good to see you. Mark, appreciate all you guys for commenting. And again, we'll take your questions, your comments on the ICCU YouTube chat. We appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union branch pretty much on every corner. As I tell you, though, the easiest is that mobile e-branch right there in your pocket on the app. So ICCU.com, the sponsor of our YouTube chat. make sure you check them out and get those comments and questions in. And thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union. Derek coming in, nice call on USC. Bummer to see Acott and Abo get coaxed into the portal. Yeah, if you watched the show on Friday, said USC was likely going to be the destination, and sure enough, USC is the destination. So he gets his $500,000, and he is off to USC. And I've seen some folks wondering about why schools aren't calling schools out, in the transfer portal. And when this stuff's happening, I mean, this is a clear tampering situation. I mean, it is, no doubt. He goes in the transfer portal, and the same day, I already told you he's probably going to USC. I mean, how does that happen? Well, there's back channels and coaches, and it's all legal. But you know what? It probably happens at other places too. So you don't get a lot of coaches calling each other out on it. And I don't know why it's not the case. I mean, Andy Avalos was pretty outspoken, ripping on what eventually became his future employer, TCU, but he never actually mentioned TCU. He just mentioned the transfer portal. So very rarely do you get schools that call schools out, probably because they'll turn around and call them out for doing something. So I don't know how you police it. I really don't when it's this kind of money going around. And I mean, good for Chibuzo Abo. He gets $500,000. And again, is he worth more than an Ashton Genty is? By $200,000 to the Boise State athletics program? Hate to say it, but probably not. So if you're Boise State, you've got a limited budget in terms of NIL and the collective and all that and what you can put together from boosters to offer folks. Ashton Genty, $300,000. Mike Prater and others have reported that's pretty much the top guy in athletics right now, and he needs to be the top paid guy. So if Abo is saying, hey, I need this much or that much, not really much you can do. Good luck at USC, and you tried to replace him. Perry's asking about anybody else. They did have a couple visitors trying to get some things reported, but they had a couple visitors over the weekend, had one yesterday. Some very intriguing possibilities. So Boise State's still looking. I think they've shifted, at least for the time being, to that center market, and I've heard a couple intriguing names that were in town. To avoid what happened with Cardenas, where he waited 3 days for it to be announced, I'm not going to try to speculate too much anymore and make you guys wait for 3 days. And it'll come out when it comes out if they get anybody. I don't think they have a commitment yet that I've heard, but they had a couple very intriguing visitors over the weekend. So just keep that in mind. The basketball team is working hard to fill the roster spots. And if they were able to land the guy that I heard visited yesterday, that would be a huge get down in the paint, maybe even a starter, which would bump Omar Stanley up to the 4. So the coaches are working. I get it. Fans are frustrated. There's 3 scholarships left, and they're still working hard to update the roster. It's April 23rd. So I get it. There's a lot of time. Folks are nervous. You lost Buzo. You got Cardenas. But a lot of time left. And as I said, they just had visitors in over the weekend, and they are actively working to improve the roster. And those 3 scholarships will get used. So let's just wait and see what happens before we, make our judgments on the 2024 basketball season. Derek says, feels easy to tell who is tampering and who isn't. Leon's getting transfers, have a ton of other suitors. Some schools get a guy 2 days after he is announced. Yeah, I mean, it's when a guy enters the portal and within a couple days goes to his new school, you pretty much know what happened there. It is what it is. I don't know how you police it. As I said, I mean, everybody's to some extent probably doing it, but unfortunately, Boise State it's the situation they're in, whether it's football or basketball. You just hope you recruited the right kids that aren't going to leave just for the money, and you hope you have the right culture and the right situation in place. But when it comes down to it, if it's a financial decision for the kid, Boise State's probably not going to win out in most cases. It's just the way it is, and it's disappointing. College athletics aren't the same as they used to be. It's not, it's new rosters every year and new players. And that's why I think you guys should appreciate someone like a Tyson Degenhart, who, by the way, on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, will announce his future plans. I think he's going to send a tweet out or something here today. But if you're watching today, we'll give you a little bit of a scoop. And I think I've mentioned it already. 8 p.m. tomorrow, Tyson Degenhart on the Tyson Degenhart Show, presented by Idaho Central Credit Union, will announce his future plans. And again, the early deadline for the NBA draft to enter is on Thursday. So it would make sense if he were going to, put his name and test the NBA draft waters or the professional market. That would be for him to announce that the day before that deadline would make some sense. But we'll see what Tyson Degenhart decides to do. But again, just on the basketball front, somebody's asking any clue who we're targeting. A couple names I've heard, but I don't want to say too much. I know Casey Abekwe, the center from Oregon State, I believe, visited. There's another intriguing prospect that visited yesterday that I don't want to let the name out just yet, just to not fuel any excitement, or if it doesn't happen, then I'm wrong, and people are waiting 3 days. So I after the Cardenas thing, I don't want to. I wasn't trying to make you guys wait 3 days, so now I don't want to say anything too early if it does or doesn't happen. But they are targeting some very high level guys. I'll just say that, and we'll see what happens if they're able to pull it off. But I know the coaching staff is working very hard to try to improve the basketball roster. And again, we'll see what happens in the next week or two. But Tyson Degenhart Wednesday. Jazz Gardner is not the name I'm hearing. So a couple of you have asked about Jazz Gardner. I don't think he right now at least is one of the main folks they're targeting. I think they're hoping to shoot a little higher than that, to be honest, with some proven production. So they're working hard. They get it. And we'll see. But again, tomorrow night, Tyson Degenhart will announce his plans 8 p.m. here on Bronco Nation News on the Tyson Degenhart Show. So make sure you are paying attention to that. And speaking of live shows, tonight, 8:30 tonight will be the final spring episode of Ball Talk with John Mallory and Mike Sanford. So make sure you want your football fix. You want to hear Coach Sanford's thoughts on the spring game and the QB competition going into the summer. 8:30 tonight will be the final episode of the spring of Ball Talk. So we have 3 live shows the next 3 nights. So tonight you got Ball Talk with Johnny and Sanford at 8:30. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, you got Tyson Degenhart Show announcing his future plans. And then on Thursday, I don't know if it's technically the last episode. We may try to keep this thing going, but the next episode of Riley and Rid will be on Thursday at 8 p.m. So Bronco Nation News bringing you the morning shows, and now we're also bringing you the afternoon shows in terms of the live coverage of Bronco Nation News in the morning and in the evening. So we're excited about that. So we're going to hear from Spencer Danielson here in a few minutes. We are going to talk mostly football on this episode. I do want to throw in that we are running out of spaces for the golf tournament. Some of you have said you're trying to get your groups together, and then you're going to get don't wait. Sign up, reserve your spot, and then go find 3 friends, because we are running out of spots. We only have 2 foursomes left in the morning, the afternoon foursomes as well. You're going to get a new golf towel from rowpaint.com. You're going to get a new sleeve of golf balls from ICCU. You're going to get some other cool stuff. You're going to get a great lunch. You're going to get some, have some beverages. You're going to have a great time with your friends on a beautiful day out at Timberstone Golf Course. And you're going to see, some of your favorite players and coaches out there on the course. Tyson Degenhart scheduled to attend. I know Maddox Madsen and Jonah Dalmas on the football side are in. They're working on some other players there. So you're going to have a great time. Football, basketball, coaches, players, a lot of fun. Timberstone Golf Course. And this is our 3rd tournament. We got the morning session at 8:30, the afternoon session at 1:30, lunch in the middle. Same sponsors, same giveaways. Everything is the same in the afternoon. So if you want to work your morning half day and then come play in the afternoon, we have some extra spots available right now in the afternoon. But again, last year you see Kent Riddle, Winston Venable, there's Dalmas and Schramm and Riley Smith. We had some other football players out there last year. There's the group. You got Alexander Tubner and Canijo and Maddox Madsen there on the right. Colt Fulton in there. You got Ben Ford. So I've talked to some players that want to play again. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, you get lunch, and it's a beautiful day out at Timberstone, and we're looking forward to having everybody out there. And I think breakfast will be provided by the Degenhart Dozens again as well. So a lot of fun. If you're a fan of the local teams here, football, basketball, whatever, this is would be heaven for you to come out and hang out with. There's Coach Rice right there at Lithia Ford of Boise and Jim Sturk and Company for the hole-in-one. They're giving away a free car. So again, it's pretty much heaven for a fan, of the Broncos if this is your team and your players. So come on out, have a lot of fun. You may even get a chance to hang out with these 2 knuckleheads, Jay Tust and John Mallory, who will both be out there. They'll be doing Prater in the Ball game out there and recording their show live or broadcasting their show live. So again, May 31st is the date. There's an evening event May 30th. That space is limited, but we got some spots still available for that. So we only have a couple spots left. We're going to sell this thing out. Don't wait. email me, rains@bronconationnews.com, or send me or go to the website, bronconationnews.com/golf. You see it there on the screen, bronconationnews.com/golf. And then you can also email me, rains@bronconationnews, and we will get you a spot reserved. Let's go to the comments here. Someone's asking if we're testing Jay for PEDs before the tournament. No, I don't think we need to do that. Jay can, I think we'll be okay. Jay does it the right way, but I'm telling you, man, the guy can hit it like 400 yards. So you should come out there. The intriguing guy is not a 2 or a 3. I will just say that he's a center. So the intriguing guy is a center, and we'll see. And I said high level. I didn't say, which high level, but these are guys that have the gentleman that visited yesterday. It was a proven scorer and player, and we'll see. But I'm talking center right now. They had a couple centers visit over the weekend, but again, we will wait and see what happens here in the near future. Spencer Danielson talked after the spring game. I want to transition this into football here, and if you guys got any questions, thoughts as we get ready, and we continue to wrap up the spring game this week and then really turn our attention next week. The transfer portal, by the way, we mentioned on the basketball side, the football side. So far, the only 2 names that I've seen enter the transfer portal, James Wilborn Jr. and Favor Kamalafe. Favor was a JUCO transfer that came in, an offensive lineman, and then James Wilborn Jr. came in as a 3-star player a couple years ago. Neither guy really played that much. He was an edge. So they lose 2 guys, James Wilborn, Favor Kamalafe is all I've seen. Again, you still could have some, as the meetings happen this week with Coach Danielson and the players, you could have some more guys leave. But to this point, Boise State has really avoided any kind of serious loss in the transfer portal on the football side so far. And again, you got about 10 days left. That transfer portal will close, I believe, on April 30th or May 1st, right at the end of the month. So you got to hang on if you're Boise State for this point. Let's see. Latest on Kobe Young and the football team. I haven't heard anything, so I don't think that's happening, to be honest. Didn't make a lot of sense that they have a lot of wide receivers, and that's just not a great fit this year for him there. But I don't want to say it's dead because I haven't heard, but I haven't heard anything positive either. So I don't think that's happening, Jared, but really haven't heard that to be sure. The San Jose State guys, how many scholarships over? How many need to leave the team? It's so hard because some of these guys get promoted from scholarship to walk on, and you never really know, and it's just really hard to figure out. So, Rudy, I don't think that's necessarily true. He says with the 2, they were already over to begin with, I think. So I still think you're going to need to have another guy or 2 leave. Probably, but I that all shakes itself out. So I don't think it's just as easy as they were right at it already, and now they're 2 over. I think they were already maybe potentially over a spot or 2. So they'll still need another guy or 2 to leave. That stuff works itself out. But again, the folks that have left so far, no disrespect to them, not serious, impactful players to this point on the team. So I think that's a good thing if you're a Boise State fan. Spring game is in the books, but I still want to continue to. No, it's not Great Osabor. I shouldn't have said anything. It's not Great Osabor. So Spencer Danielson spoke to the media after the spring game, was going to play some of this on yesterday's show, but didn't really have time with Mike Prater. So here were Spencer Danielson's his opening statement, general thoughts on the spring game.
We're in a good spot, BJ. Just like anything, we are a long way from being ready to play game 1. But exactly the things that we really wanted to grow in this spring, I feel like we did. The point of emphasis as a staff and talking to our team, the things that we knew when we leave spring, we have to be better in these areas. Excited where we're growing to. And we got a really good idea about our team, where they're at, where we need to grow into at all positions. And especially, we had some guys that had played and started a lot of games for us that didn't go through spring. So it gave opportunities for some guys to step up and see them. And once again, they got 15 practices of film. So when I sit down with them, we could talk about, hey, this is exactly where you are, this is where we're going to. But the things that we wanted to improve as a team, OD, special teams, going even into this spring game, feel good of where we're at and where we're growing to. And I feel like our players know exactly where they're at too. And so as we finish this week, it's going to be giving them clarity. So then in May, June, and July, we know we got to grow and we got to go do it now.
There you go, Spencer Danielson talking about the spring game. And again, those meetings are underway. As we speak, meetings are underway. with all the players on the roster. They kind of find out where they stand on the depth chart, what they need to work on, what their chances are of being competitors. And there's some, heart-to-heart conversations there. And a couple guys, say, if I'm not in the fold, I'm going to go look elsewhere. So we'll wait and see if anybody else to this point decides to do that. To this point, they have not. So from that standpoint, again, fairly good news for the Boise State football team so far. I want to talk about the offseason and the hype and the excitement of that 12-team playoff, and hear from Spencer Danielson on that. But first, I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors that make this show possible. Cutwater Spirits, our studio sponsor here. We're in the Cutwater Studios. More than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Love that pina colada, the Long Island, the mango margarita. You can pick them up at your local gas station or a grocery store. Again, Cutwater Spirits. And please remember to drink responsibly. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. ROEpaint.com. You heard Andy Rowe there at the James. He came by on Saturday, our title sponsor, and super appreciative of him. And again, whether it's your interior or exterior painting, those concrete coatings, we had some folks over for my kid's birthday party on Sunday and had 3 or 4 comments about how great the outdoor patio looked, the cement with the concrete coating that they have. It's stronger than epoxy. It's better. You get a 15-year warranty. Highly, highly recommend concrete coating from rowpaint.com, and it's the perfect time of year to get it done. But again, they can do the interior, exterior painting as well. So make sure you check them out at rowpaint.com. ICCU, we mentioned they'll be having the Tyson Degenhart show and the big announcement tomorrow night. ICCU.com, mobile eBranch, online banking, so easy to use. I said this almost every day, but just so happy the Raines family made the switch. Only wish we had done it earlier. I drive by Idaho Central Credit Union all the time, and I hadn't known about their services. And we were finally, once they got the deal, we switched our accounts over, business and personal, and couldn't be happier. It's so easy. Transfer money, pay things, and I've been in there like one time to get some checks printed, but otherwise you just do everything online. It's so easy, and so thankful for Idaho Central Credit Union. Again, check them out. ICCU.com. Ridley's Family Markets, they just signed up for a sponsorship for the golf tournament. We appreciate Mark Ridley and company. ShopRidleys.com. They got 13 locations around the state of Idaho. We appreciate them. Many more in the surrounding states. And again, you can save up to 40% off at the checkout line with the new app there at shopridleys.com. And Bauscher Real Estate, he's helping us buy a home, helping us sell a home. Matt, Kelly, the whole team there do a tremendous job, and I found out firsthand why he is the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. So I only talk about sponsors I believe in. I don't BS it. I've turned sponsors away because I don't believe in their product or don't like their food or whatever else. And when I say it, folks, I mean it. And Matt Bauscher really is the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. So happy with the personal service that we got from Matt, and just thankful to have him as a friend and a sponsor. And Kelly and everybody there are doing a great job. And if you're looking for someone, I know you have a lot of friends that are realtors, but if you're looking to buy or sell a home, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate certainly would be a strong choice. And make sure you tell him that you heard about it on BNN. You wanted to support him because they support BNN, and I'm sure he'll hook you up with a great deal. Let's see if we got any more comments here in the comments section. I want to talk about the excitement and the buzz going into the offseason, because I mentioned it yesterday with Mike Prater, but you got a ton of guys really talking about the playoff, and fans are excited. Media is excited. I mean, you look at this football team, and there really is not a lot of like super concerning areas. I mean, you look at the Mountain West, this team should be the clear favorite in the Mountain West. And if they take care of business, and if they can win the Mountain West, again, you only have to, be one of the 5 teams that win your conference to be eligible for that Group of 5 playoff spot. And if you're 12-1, your only losses to Oregon, you're probably in pretty good shape. If you're 11-2 and your losses to Oregon and Oregon State or whoever else, like 2 losses, still may be enough this year to get in the playoffs. So rightfully so. I think there's a lot of excitement around this football team. And Spencer Danielson said he and the team are well aware of it, and they're excited to try to live up to that hype.
Absolutely. I mean, Bronco Nation loves their football team. That's near and dear to my heart. It's near and dear to our players. This place is different. We talk about being built different here. We don't need to find the right 500 football players. We need to find the right ones that fit our place. No different coaches. Hey, this is a different place to coach. There's high expectations here. Every time we take a season, it's not, well, I hope we can have a winning season. The expectations are through the roof, and that's what you love about this place. One of the winningest football teams since the turn of the century. That doesn't just happen, right? That's outworking people. That's finding the right players, the right coaches. So that's a good weight that everybody in this building feels, and we're very excited for the season. But just like everybody around the country when they finish spring ball, I bet you there's not one head coach across the country at the end of spring ball that says, I'm not excited for the football season, right? Everybody is. But at this point, it's just me talking. We got to go put it into action. We got to go put it into practice. And it's how we work from right now till fall camp, how we handle fall camp the right way, getting ready for game one. So I'm fired up for the buzz. Our players understand what it is. That's why you come to Boise State. You come to Boise State to win championships and play in the NFL. That's why you come here. You come here to be developed. We just got a long way to go, and I'm excited for the path we're on.
All right. And he is true. Like, every coach in America is going to say, I'm excited for the season right now. Like, yeah, no coach is going to say, we're not going to be very good. This season's going to stink. Like, I get it. But there is a lot of real reason to be excited about this team. Mark, sorry, we just spent 20 minutes talking basketball, so you can go watch the beginning of the show later if you'd like to do that. We're talking football now. Appreciate you for that. I know you guys said Oregon State wouldn't be a big loss. I'm just saying in general, 2 losses, or you're saying it would be a bad loss because they're not as good or whatever, they're not Power 5. I get it. I'm just saying in general, 2 losses, I don't think this year definitely eliminates you from that mix. If you're 11-2, I think you still have a chance, depending on what the other conference champions do. I don't see a lot of other group of 5 teams that are like really going to be dominant and undefeated. And we even saw the one year Boise State, had 2 losses and got in over, I think, a Marshall team that had 1 loss. So my whole point was, it's not like, if you lose a game or 2, you're 100% done. The way the setup is this year, I still think that they could lose at least 1 game for sure, maybe 2, and still have a chance, depending on how it shakes out. And so that Oregon game is obviously going to be big. A win would be massive there. But if you lose that, I still think there's a path, because I really don't see a lot of Mountain West teams that are going to give them a lot of trouble. You got the road trip to Hawaii. You got the road trip to UNLV, and those are back-to-back games. You do have the bye week in the middle. The schedule, you got it is what it is. You got Laramie. But I think overall, I think the schedule's manageable. And I think that if you're a Boise State, fan, you got to feel pretty good about the way it shapes up this year. The Georgia Southern game's a really weird first game of the season. I don't know why they're playing that game, but you get by that. And then, again, Eugene is you're almost playing with house money. But that would just be a massive game to go win early in the season. Noah says, so excited for the football season. What would you say is the brightest spot so far in the offense? Can we say Dirk Cutter being back? I guess that's a big one. I'm trying to look I got the roster in my hand right here that they gave us at the spring game. We've told you about it. At some point next week or something, we'll do an all spring show and talk about some of these guys individually. But we heard a lot of great things about Dubar this spring. We heard a lot of great things about Sire Gaines. So I would say the running attack. They've talked about how this is going to be a run-first team. And if you've got Ashton Genty and, Breezy Dubar and Sire Gaines as your 1, 2, and 3, that's a pretty darn good trio of running backs for a team that's going to run the football a lot. So I think that probably might stand out the most when you factor in you're bringing back 4 starting offensive linemen. And then, you figure out right tackle. You got a veteran, returning starting offensive line and a really good running game and running backs. Like that could be, and then then they have to kind of load up the box a little bit. It's going to be kind of pick your poison here potentially, which I guess is what the nice thing would be. Because if they load the box to try to stop Ashton Genty, good luck in one-on-one matchups with Chris Marshall and Prince Strawn and Cam Camper and some of the other guys out there, Latrell Caples. I think Dirk Cutter is going to be able to just kind of mix and match, and this offense has the potential to be really, really scary. And I guess you say, what's been the brightest spot? There's been a lot of bright spots. It might be easier and quicker to just say what hasn't been a bright spot, because there really hasn't been much. Even tight end, Matt Lauder, and some of the tight ends are getting, even a Matt Wagner I saw making some plays multiple times. I'm like, who's 88? And I had to check the roster. Okay, Matt, it's Matt Wagner. So I would say tight ends, Matt, we obviously everybody loved Riley Smith. Now he's doing some stuff for us here on BNN. But I think people were wondering what the tight end group would look like this year without him. We saw some flashes from Matt Lauder last year, but it sounds like Matt Lauder is, ready to take that next step and really be explosive in the passing game. And if you got the wide receivers you do and the running backs you do, and you add in a productive tight end group, again, I don't really see a weak link on this offense. Right tackle, they've obviously got to get figured out. They were dealing with some injuries there during the spring. Hall Schmidt got a lot of the action. Kyle Cox was doing some things and had some guys injured, as I said. But there's a lot of reasons to be excited about this offense, and there's really not a lot of just the depth. Just the depth. You never want to think about injuries, but they could sustain some injuries at a lot of key positions and still probably be productive for the most part. So I think the offense is in really, really, really good shape here moving forward. Tequila Gus loved Alex G on the pregame show. How many lean feast meals will it take to give him his own monthly BNN spot? Would love to make it weekly, not monthly. Yeah, we need to see if we can get Alex Guerrero involved. He did do a great job. I hope all of you saw the interview with Malachi Nelson's dad. I was actually thinking of playing that today, but it is on YouTube. If you want to just go watch it yourself, that's probably the better way to do it. I really enjoyed talking to Malachi Nelson's dad on the show, and I thought he brought some great insight. Let's see. Last time Boise State stood up a freshman QB at Autzen, things went pretty well. Yep, that would be quite the debut for Malachi Nelson if he were to go to Autzen Stadium, if he were the starter and do some things. That could be certainly could be interesting in that game. And I know it's a long ways away, and somebody's commenting on the Georgia Southern game. I don't know why it was scheduled. I think Georgia Southern was a little better when they scheduled it, but that first game of the season, going all the way over there, and then I guess the killer one is just back-to-back now. You have their back-to-back road trip to Autzen there in week 2. Somebody else asking about tickets. I don't know when the tickets are being put on sale for that game. I just don't. You have to check there and see. Let's see. I was seeing if I had any other things here I wanted to play. I don't know about the tickets for that one, so sorry. Can our defense hang with Oregon, Washington, Oregon State? That's our only weak link. Would be awesome if Mad Dog went to Oregon. Yeah, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet, but whoever goes there, a win would be massive. The defense for me, we didn't get to see a lot of those guys because they were all out. The D-line is going to be a little bit of a question for me just because we didn't see a lot of them in the spring. Michael Callahan, and I guess the edge rushers is going to be a big position. They've really got to find some edge rushers, and certainly Ahmed Hassanin, can he take that next step and become an All-American? We saw what he did last year. He might be the preseason defensive player of the year in the conference or be in the mix, certainly. Excuse me, but is he ready to take that next step and be an All-American, knowing that teams are going to be gunning for him when we didn't see him in the spring? So that, you don't really know there. And then some other guys, I said Michael Callahan, some other guys were out this spring as well along that D line. Marco Notriani was out, but we felt pretty good about Jake Ripp. He got a lot of talk, and Jake Ripp's probably on the all spring team in terms of guys getting mentioned, and did a really nice job there with Andrew Simpson. So you feel like with Notriani back and Ripp and Simpson, you feel pretty, okay at the linebacker spot now. I don't know how the DBs are going to shake out, but you got a lot of talent back there. Irby and McCoy seem like they're set at the corners. You feel pretty good about that. I think the pass defense in particular has a chance to be much better than last year, and it needs to be. It was terrible last year for a good chunk of the season, but you bring in Tyler Stockton, the D coordinator at Ball State, as the safeties coach, co-coordinator. You get another year of experience for a Ty Benefield. You have all those guys back, Oladipo, Tubner, Robinson. And again, some of you could say, well, is that really a great thing? They're all back, and it wasn't great last year. But I think a year of experience, I think those guys are going to be improved. And I think that you factor in another year for Benefield, and then the upgrade at corner with Irby, and then another year under your belt for McCoy at the Division I level. And I forgot Zion Washington at safety as well. I really feel if they can get some sustained pressure on the quarterback this year, that this defense, everyone's talking about the offense, but I think the defense is kind of motivated to say, hey, this is still a defense first team here. Let's, we got a defensive head coach. Let's slow down a little bit. So again, you don't want to get too excited. You're not trying to hype it up too much, but it's going to be 3 months of us trying to find anything wrong with this team that we can, because it's let's go to special teams. They have maybe the best punter in America and maybe the best kicker in America. Let's go. Tell me what your biggest concern is, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more in depth in future shows, but I don't see a lot of areas to be concerned with for this team, and I'm even trying, and I can't. So maybe it's right tackle, and whoever that person is that gets the job is not ready to go. Maybe it's the D-line, as I said, on the interior there. Maybe it's not getting enough pressure on the quarterback, but I just feel like there's not a lot of areas where it's, fans should be worried or concerned at this point. The team really does look stacked, and believe me, I'm going to do my best to kind of slow down the hype and all that here moving forward. But it's There's 102 of you on YouTube watching. There's several others. We're well over 150, whatever, people watching. And it's not because you're disappointed or not looking forward to football season. You're fired up and wishing that first game was on Saturday. And so a couple of folks still saying the biggest concern is the secondary. I can see that. You do have a lot of the same guys back. Rodney Robinson and some of those guys are back, and that group did struggle at times. But I think some of those struggles were not getting a ton of pressure on the quarterback, which let the quarterbacks, have more time to throw some of those deep routes. So I think that, it all goes hand in hand on a defense. And could the secondary be better? But could they get more pressure on the quarterbacks, which would help some of that? Yes. So I think that for me, it's getting more sustained pressure on the quarterback. You got to create more takeaways. They need more interceptions this year. 19 interceptions or 19 takeaways in 14 games last year? It's just not good enough. So, their goal's 3 a game, and they weren't even close to that. They barely got 1 a game. So, got to get more takeaways. Got to get more pressure on the defense, on the quarterback. And I think there you go. If your biggest concern is the long snapper, your team's probably pretty good. So Mason Hutton, by the way, there's no reason to have concern there. He's a great long snapper. So I think you're joking there, and that's funny because that would if that is your biggest concern, then that's telling you all you need to know. This team is pretty darn good. Hey, we'll keep this rolling, but want to thank our second set of sponsors here. Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. You can do what the Raines family did. We went online, lithiafordboise.com, did our research, looked up some facts, prices, things, miles, all the information on a couple vehicles, went in, we're ready to test drive them, we're ready to go, and it was a much faster, easier process because we had already done our homework on the 3 that we liked. Picked this F-150, made our purchase, and we were out the door in a couple of hours. So highly recommend Jim Sturk, the folks over at Lithia Ford of Boise. Kim helped us do a tremendous job, and we picked out our vehicle, and we were on our way. So lithiafordboise.com, and again, they're sponsoring the hole-in-one challenge at the golf tournament. You can win a free car if you get a hole-in-one at the golf tournament, thanks to Lithia Ford of Boise. Taco Bell, this is a Taco Bell Tuesday. TacoBellWorks.com, SON Management, the Nicolason family. We're very supportive of them. They're going to be sponsoring the golf tournament and playing out there and having some gift cards for the raffle. So if you need a job, you get half your wages the very next day after your shift, and you get free food. You can't beat that. And they're also supporting the local community. Hundreds of thousands of dollars committed to student-athlete scholarships at Boise State. So get more information on their giving and their efforts and their how to apply for a job. Again, thanks to the Nicolason family and SON Management. Check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. The Blue and Orange Store, they got the NIL shirts. They're now selling the Ashton Genty Heisman shirts. So if you like that logo, you want to get that shirt to support Ashton Genty in the NIL front, the Blue and Orange Store has you covered there. The second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, right next to the Pro Image Store. You can also order online and get free shipping on any order that exceeds $40 at the blueandorange.store.com. And again, shirts, jerseys, hats, you name it. Anything Boise State related, you need to get it at the Blue and Orange Store. Transportation compliance service. If you need a job, they can help you get into the trucking industry. All the permits, things you need to get towing that first load in no time. Check them out, transcompservice.com. And again, it's a national company based here in the Treasure Valley. And we love, if you're looking for a job, to consider the trucking industry and consider transportation compliance service. Going to be a good day today because I'm headed over to see Dave at Lean Feast. Going to get some meals for the week. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Again, the website is wrong at the bottom. It's LeanFeastMeridian.com. Check them out. Fully customizable meals. This is not frozen food. This is not pre-cooked stuff. It is all ready for you. 2 minutes in the microwave and you're eating steak, shrimp, you name it, 10,000 combinations. And so happy and thankful and appreciate Dave and the staff over at Lean Feast. It's a fun environment to go into. And again, they're feeding the football team and they're feeding the basketball teams. They're literally providing meals to your favorite athletes there. And they have NIL deals with some of the individual players as well. So check them out, leanfeastmeridian.com. It's right there on Eagle Road, near Eagle Road in Ustick, ironically right next to a Five Guys. So check them out. Go in, tell Dave you heard about it on BNN. They'll hook you up with a sweet deal. And we're very appreciative and thankful to our friends over at Lean Feast. And by the way, I got my first round of golf in over at Timberstone. I'm not going to reveal the score, but got out yesterday with Coach Riddle and a couple friends and had a good time playing Timberstone Golf Course yesterday. Kent Riddle, I think I beat Kent. It was pretty close. We had fun playing out there, though. But playtimberstone.com. They got the new grill. So you can, on hole 8, you can call in your food order. It's ready to go right there at the turn. And great new carts, too, with all the GPS systems and everything. So playtimberstone.com, book your tee time today. Get out to Timberstone Golf Course. And again, it was good seeing Kelly and the crew out there. So highly recommend Timberstone Golf Course. It's worth the drive. Every second of it. The course is in great shape. And if any listeners ever want to play, let me know. This is my downtime. So once a week, maybe I can sneak out for a couple hours and try to play. And if any viewers, listeners would ever love to get out and play around at Timberstone, send me an email, rains@bronconationnews.com. Would love to meet some of you guys and go out and play around the golf. And always looking to do that. I don't play for 8 months. I can't play from August 1st, when fall camp starts through spring ball, but was kind of ceremoniously the Monday after spring ball. Got out there for the first round of the year, and I'm not very good, but like to maybe have a few beverages and hang out and talk sports and have a good time. So if anybody, just PSA, if anybody ever wants to play, let me know and we can get out there. 68, not quite that good. No, it was not quite a 68. So first round of the year kind of went as expected, but. Again, if anybody's interested, let me know. And I highly recommend Timberstone Golf Course. Great course, great people out there. Let's see. Any info on why Nelson didn't come out with the rest of the QBs? He tried out about 10 minutes late. Didn't see that, Mike. I'm not sure why. Sorry about that. I don't know. We were doing our pregame show, and then when I got over there, the quarterbacks were already on the field. Hadn't heard anything. I don't think I would read into that too much. Some quarterbacks just come out at different times when they're ready. Taylor Green didn't always run out with all the other quarterbacks. I don't think that's a huge deal. Any concern on depth at quarterback beyond 1 and 2? Not really, but I mean, I think if Tiller I think right now it's kind of 1A, 1B with Matt. I think right now, going into the first day of fall camp, Maddox Madsen is probably slightly ahead of and again, not saying this is what it'll be for the first game, but going in for that first rep of the first practice, I think Maddox Madsen is probably 1A. And then I think 1B, just slightly below him, is Malachi Nelson. I do think probably CJ Tiller is below those guys. We'll see what decides, but I don't think CJ Tiller would be a bad option if you had a couple guys injured or something happens, knock on wood, it doesn't, and you had to go to CJ Tiller in a game. I think he's much improved from when he played in that bowl game last year. So I would be, no super concerns at quarterback for me right now. Pierce Funny talking about shooting 68 for 9. No, it wasn't that bad. Was not that bad at all. Would rather have Colt Fulton play over Tiller. If so, Tiller transfers were fine. I've heard that sentiment, and I know Colt Fulton has done some really nice things. I mean, there was a lot of people that thought he might get the start or get more playing time in the bowl game than Tiller. They went with Tiller, but Colt Fulton, in the times we've seen him at practice and scrimmages, have done some nice things for a walk-on, and I believe that Dirk Cutter is a fan of his. So, I don't think, is Colt Fulton probably going to start? No, but does he maybe deserve a chance at some point in a little better situation? Probably so, and obviously being a lefty, I know there's a lot of talk there, but we'll see what happens with the quarterback depth, but I'm not too worried about that. Best club in the bag, actually, yesterday was the putter. You can ask Kent Riddle about it. Maybe someone bring it up on my show. I probably hit 4 or 5 putts of like 10 plus feet yesterday. I was really putting great yesterday. Actually, the only thing I really did bad was the tee shots. If I could avoid the drives, I had some way left, some way right, some short, but I was pretty much money from the second shot on for the most part. I actually played really well if you take out the penalty strokes for hitting it out of bounds. And you take out the, chunked drives that went about 80 yards on a couple holes. It was rusty. Literally the first time I've swung a club in 8 months, and I've never said I was a good golfer, but I'm good enough to not embarrass myself on most days. It was a fun day. Like I said, beautiful weather out there, and it was good to see everybody, and happy to play and have fun. But I am not, a scratch golfer by any means. I just don't have the time to play that much, but I like to get out and enjoy the weather and good company and good friends and have some fun. So, but it was fun to get out there yesterday. My wife's the real golfer in the family. She's you don't want to, you don't want to play her. She's ever since I first met her, we were playing out in Hayes, Kansas. My wife's been beating me on the golf course. So I'm just trying to be like, let's see if we're getting some golf tips in the chat. Appreciate those. Vlad, thank you so much. Why am I not surprised? Vlad says he's a scratch golfer here. Wouldn't mind seeing Cutter throw Fulton the bone, getting him some time for Georgia Southern. Yeah, maybe if they can get a big lead, who knows what will happen there. But I do think Colt Fulton is a very knowledgeable quarterback, and I've heard great things about him in his potential to run the offense. But unfortunately, there's politics involved, and when you're a walk-on and you're not a scholarship guy, it's hard for them. I heard some people say that he maybe should have played over Tiller in the bowl game. He was more ready. But again, he's a walk-on, and that puts you at a disadvantage fairly or unfairly, unfortunately, a lot of times. So for those of you that came on late, I mentioned it earlier, we are almost sold out of the golf tournament. Speaking of golf, at least in the morning session, we only have 2 foursomes left in the morning. BroncoNationNews.com/golf. BroncoNationNews.com/golf. You can also email me, Rains@BroncoNationNews.com. 2 foursomes left in the morning. Got some in the afternoon as well that are still left, and it's going to be the same setup, the exact same giveaways and things throughout the day. So whether you're in the morning or afternoon, it's exactly the same. There's lunch in the middle. So we'd love to have you guys. And again, this is going to sell out. So get in now. I heard a couple people have said, I'm trying to get my team together. Don't wait. If you have any interest in this, book it, reserve it, and then find your friends later. So really looking forward to this. Spencer Danielson's going to be there. We're working on confirming some basketball coaches. But Tyson Degenhart, Maddox Madsen, Jonah Dalmas, some of your favorite athletes are going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Favorite coaches as well. And Johnny and Prater will be doing their show out there. Jay Tust will be out there. Going to be a lot of fun. A lot of supporters of BNN and a lot of fans and friends, and it's just a fun day on the course. So we'd love to have you join us. And again, we're getting close to selling this thing out. So if you want in now, don't wait. Email me, Rains@BroncoNationNews.com, and find your group later, because we would love to have you guys out there and join us for the 3rd annual BNN Golf Tournament. We'll take a couple more comments here. Let's see. Let's see here. What's the word on Genty? Had a run to the end zone, came up limping like it was hamstring. Yeah, it was a very slight, mild hamstring, but I don't know what you want to call it, strain, pull, whatever. He did have ice, a big ice pack on, but I played a video on my Twitter feed. You can go find it. He jogged off the field at halftime, so not concerned about that at all. It was very minor from my understanding. He was going to be done pretty much after that touchdown or close to it anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much about Ashton Genty. He did have a big ice pack, though, on his left hamstring, I believe. And again, he jogged off the field afterwards, and Spencer Danielson said very minor, but he wasn't going to play much more in the game anyway. I believe it was Amarian McCoy, might have rolled his ankle or something and had a boot on, but I don't think that's a big concern as well. Somebody was surprised. Andrew's surprised he played. He played because the first half was not tackle. It was just kind of thud or rap where it's physical, but you don't actually bring the guy down to the ground. They blow it dead before you get tackled. And so that was why they did that. So Ashton Genty could get a few snaps for the fans and had a nice long run, I believe, on the first play of the game. I forget if it was a screen or a run, but he was looking really good and then did have that. But I would not be concerned too much with Ashton Genty. I'm not sure where you're going here with this one. Honest assessment of what you're seeing so far with Boise State. Something doesn't feel right. I don't know what sport you're talking about or what's going on there. I don't, everything feels fine for me. Not sure what you're talking about there. Any word on the new uniforms? So my understanding is they're going to get new blue uniforms, new white uniforms, and new black uniforms this year. The orange uniforms will have to wait for another year. I have heard blue, white, and black will be the 3 new uniforms this year. I have heard that Nike's going to a more, simpler uniform that is going to look similar for a lot of teams. So don't expect it to be really flashy or really unique for Boise State. I think it's going to be similar to a lot of other schools that have Nike that have gotten new uniforms in the last couple of years. I don't know the answer to that, when that's going to all come out. But I would suspect they'll do some sort of press conference and unveil that. I do think it has something to do with the EA Sports game, by the way, the timing of it. I do believe they gave the uniform look to EA Sports. So whenever they get to some promos in May or June for the release of EA Sports, those will probably feature the new uniforms, or are supposed to at least. So they may do some sort of press conference before all those come out, just so that that's not the initial release of the uniforms. But I have been told that EA Sports should have the design of the new uniforms, which will be out in July, I guess it is. So I would keep that in mind. And then I guess there'll be some sort of press conference or release with the uniforms later this summer. There was supposed to be a press conference for the North End Zone project. We saw Don Day's article. That got pushed back for some reason, so there's going to be a press conference at some point to announce the updated plans for the renovations to Albertson Stadium and the North End Zone project, so stay tuned for that. And then, as I said, they should have some. Last time they got new uniforms, they had like mannequins display them there in the facility and did a big press conference, so I would assume I would assume that'll be the case. I agree with this. Gray uniforms on the blue is weird. They need to go to the white numbers and names on the blue uniforms. I totally agree with that. Apparel deals have changed a ton. Schools having to fork out more for gear than their deals than they used to. Yep. I know a lot of you guys are looking at the Denver Broncos uniforms and not liking those. Those were people saying they looked like UTEP. That's obviously a darker blue on those, but they weren't anything special. I haven't heard anything on the design itself. Just heard new whites, new blues, new blacks are the three that they're, at least at one point, were expected to get for this year. They are expected to be, I know I had said at one point there was a little worry with the supply chain, but my understanding now is everything is okay with that, and they should have them in time for the season. I mean, you're still seeing some Major League Baseball teams that don't even have all their alternate uniforms or all their uniforms because of supply chain issues. Like, I know the Cardinals, my team, don't even have their like special alternate Saturday uniforms yet because they're not all in because of the supply chain. And that's a Major League Baseball team. They can't even push to the top of the list. So, but I had heard that, that might be an issue. Now I've heard that it's not really an issue anymore. So they're at least as of now feeling good and expecting everything to be in on time. And you have, the road uniforms first, so you probably don't need your blues, at least the blue, jerseys. You don't need till week 3. So I would suspect that the whites are probably the ones they're getting in first and asking for those first, since those will be the ones they would wear in the first game or two if they are at all going to be up against the timing on that. But haven't really heard anything differently in the last couple of weeks for that. Hey, I want to give another shout out to Alex Martin, Cam Martin's brother. He was on the basketball team last year. I don't know what's happening moving forward yet with him, but he's got a very successful business on the side. He does lawn care, does a tremendous job. Somebody reached out to me saying that they had him fix their sprinklers because they had heard me talking about him before, and he did a tremendous job. But he is an entrepreneur, a businessman, and this dude's like, 19 years old or whatever. And if you're looking for any kind of lawn care, I highly recommend him. Grass cutting, regular grass cutting, or just a one-time thing, or to plant some trees, or any kind of lawn care, sprinklers, whatever. I highly recommend Alex, and he now has started renting out some bounce houses as a second business here. And we rented a couple for my kid's birthday party over the weekend, and it was an unbelievable time. I never thought a bounce house could keep kids busy for so long, like 3+ hours in the bounce house on Sunday, I guess it was. Give him a call, 417-629-6832. The number's there on the screen. Very affordable. Highly recommend if you're looking for a kid's birthday party, graduation, whatever. Bounce house in your backyard. What could be better than that? And again, I've been very impressed. He's going to come on board, I believe, as an official sponsor here in the next week or two. We've been talking about it, and I've been highly impressed with someone of his age and his business IQ and what he's doing. I mean, he's already bought out several other lawn care companies, and he's having a very successful business. And the bounce houses were a big hit with the family. So if you're in the mix for a party, looking for something fun to do for your kids here as you get ready for summer, I highly recommend Alex Martin. Again, 417-629-6832 if you're looking to rent a bounce house. And as I said, the lawn care business, he's cut our grass a couple of times. Our lawn's in great shape, and highly recommend Alex Martin and his variety of companies. I think it's 208 Lawn and Landscape, I believe, is the company there. But if you reach out and give him a call, he can give you the website and help you out with all the details there. And again, that's Alex Martin, 417-629-6832. We'll see if we got any final comments in the chat here. Hopefully we put a true logo on the helmets. Don't like the one-sided outline of the Bronco. Let's see. Any kid that's willing to work has my full support. He's a 23-year-old kid. Yeah, I mean, Alex is out there working 12-hour shifts himself. He has a couple of folks that work for him, but he's out there himself doing a lot of the work. So if you want to support a Bronco and support, someone that's working hard, highly recommend Alex Martin. He's doing a great job there. Let's see if we got any other final comments or questions. I'll just say this, folks. While we're getting any final comments in, support the sponsors, folks. We're this is the summertime when it's time to try to renew some of these deals and trying to find new sponsors. And your feedback directly to them seriously does work. If you go to Taco Bell, snap a photo and put it on social media and tag me and tag Taco Bell so I can show them. If you get some Cutwaters at the grocery store, please tag me, show me, let me see those, email me, and I can directly show those. If you stay at Circa or if you buy a car from Lithia, if you use our sponsors, which please do, go shop at Ridley's and snap a picture in the checkout line or at the front. That stuff really does matter. So we need to show the sponsors that their sponsorship dollars are working and they want to keep this thing going. I mean, I know we have a subscription to the website, which I hope all of you are subscribers. If you're not, I hope you'll help us out. It's just $50 for a full year. BNN 50 deals, that promo code. And we got a lot of written content coming to the site over the summer here. But the show you're watching right now, which is 55 minutes long, is a free show on YouTube. So you're watching this show for free. The least you can do is go to Taco Bell or go to Lean Feast or one of our sponsors and support them. And like I said, if you're able to, snap a photo or send a tweet or an Instagram post or whatever and let me know, because that would be great to show the sponsors. And if, reach out to the sponsors directly. Tell Travis Hawks you appreciate him and you bought a shirt there because of his advertising with BNN. So all the different sponsors, we're very appreciative. Row Painting, highly recommend them, our title sponsor. And again, the only way we can keep these shows free and not have to put them behind any kind of paywall is for you to support the sponsors who are 100% paying for these shows. So appreciate it. I know some of you get, bored, whatever, when I hawk the sponsors too much. Sorry, deal with it. Again, you're watching a free show, and that's the business model here is to take a couple of various commercial breaks, thank the sponsors, and weave them into the show, and that's how this thing is free for you. So we would really support you supporting the sponsors, really ask that you support the sponsors. And again, if you're able to subscribe on YouTube, we'd love to have you. We're trying to get to 5,000 YouTube subscribers. We're about 250 away or so. So if you can help us out, tell your friends, subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook and or X, we would really ask that you switch over to the YouTube channel and start subscribing there. And that's the easiest way, and we would really sincerely appreciate it. So we got a lot of written content. I know I haven't written as many articles myself in recent weeks. We just had a lot going on, but we're going to get back to the daily writing, and we got all kinds of summer countdowns and content coming, and Prater's going to be writing weekly columns, and we're going to be full blast. I am as fired up and motivated for the success of BNN as I have been in a long time. So you're going to get a ton of coverage, a ton of content, and I'm going to keep pushing this thing forward. And again, can't do it without your support and your support of the sponsors. So subscribe if you can. Please help us out. $6.99 a month if that works best for you, or $50 gets you a full year at BroncoNationNews.com. And again, we're going to have tons of written content, exclusive shows coming. A lot more stuff is going to start to go subscriber only in terms of some of the shows and articles and things to reward those of you that are paid subscribers. So if you can please subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. And again, support the sponsors, and we'll keep this thing going year round. So congratulations to Andrew, who said he won season tickets at halftime of the spring game for the race. Congratulations there. Robbie Robinson joking about Mr. Nelson doing a few columns. Yeah, we may have to. He was great. Vlad, another great show. Appreciate you, Vlad. Yes, I'm actually hoping this weekend to get out to softball. They got a big home series coming up. They just took 2 of 3. So, yes, we are trying to continue with some of the other sports that are going on and cover them as well. So going to be a really exciting end of the spring and summer here, and then obviously going into football, basketball season next year. And there's going to be some recruiting news. Again, if you missed it, basketball team had a couple recruits in town. There could be some news on that coming. So we'll have all that stuff covered at BroncoNationNews.com. And again, we just filled an hour-long show with just you and me. So appreciate you guys for your comments, your questions. You guys really are like an extended family to me, and it's been a lot of fun to see this thing grow, and appreciate seeing the same names that come up in the chat. And when I see the new names as well, always appreciate you guys. And whether I see you at Costco or see you around town, it's always fun to interact and chat with you guys, and saw a couple of you this weekend. So appreciate all you guys for your support. We're going to continue to build and build and build and make BNN as big and as strong as we can, and we hope it's your first choice when you think when something's going on with Boise State, you got to check what we're saying at BNN. So we appreciate your support, and we appreciate all you guys are doing to help keep this thing rolling. Go support the sponsors. Go subscribe. John Mallory will be back 9 a.m. tomorrow, and then we'll have Jay Tust on Thursday and Friday. Jay is on vacation with his family right now, so Jay will be back on Thursday and Friday, and we'll have John Mallory tomorrow. So appreciate you. Anytime there's any news, we'll have you covered at BroncoNationNews.com. Breaking news, big enough for a live show. We'll break in if we have to. Again, 8:30 tonight, Ball Talk. John Mallory, Mike Sanford wrapping up the spring in a big way. Don't miss Ball Talk tonight at 8:30 on Bronco Nation News and the social media channels. So we'll see you tonight for Ball Talk. We'll see you tomorrow morning with John Mallory at 9 a.m. We'll see you for the Tyson Degenhart show tomorrow night. We got Rid and Riley on Thursday night. We got live shows coverage you're not going to get anywhere else all across the platforms of Bronco Nation News. So go subscribe, go support the sponsors, go tell your friends, and we'll talk to you guys 8:30 tonight with Ball Talk here on Bronco Nation News. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.